All right, hello and welcome back to the studio. I have with me today Glenn MacEachern, aka Karmakin, to give us a little bit of insight on what's going on in the world of League of Legends and the upcoming North American Summer Finals. Glenn, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. And I bet you're probably excited to see all the coverage that comes out of this weekend.
Yes, I'm extremely excited to watch all the coverage. It looks to be it's going to be pretty exciting, especially after last weekend threw some pretty big monkey wrenches into the works. And the matchups look to be pretty good, but not to be overly tight. So there's going to be a lot of action, a lot of kills. It's not going to be one of these things where both teams are just sitting back on their heels for 50 minutes while the other team makes a mistake.
So tell us a little bit about the run-up to this tournament, like what we've seen in some of the matches leading up to these third and fourth place game in the finals that we're going to be seeing this weekend.
Well, in the semifinal matches, there was one kind of huge upset with Cloud9 defeating Immortals. Immortals was the number 2 team in the regular season. Immortals has never been able to really play that well in the playoffs. It's kind of a lot of very high skilled, but they've not been able to really deal with the pressure. Cloud9's top lane Impact, he was really able to really dominate Immortals Hui, and that really gave them the win. It was really a shock to everybody, as everyone is expecting Immortals and TSM in the finals.
So what do you put that up to? Is it just nerves for the team? Do they just have not as much experience playing together as some of the other teams we're seeing in the finals?
I think it's more that they play a very freewheeling sort of gameplay, and there's not that much in terms of controlling the map. So they play very well as individuals, but when teams come in with a plan against them, the plans can often just completely rip them apart.
So they're not as coordinated as some of the other teams, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. They play much more as individuals and high-skilled individuals rather than a cohesive team. Cloud9 is probably the poster child for playing as a singular unit as a team. They were a team that for years was the same 5 players all the time. They made some changes. They don't have the same lineup, and there's a lot of different members on their team now, but they still have the same ethos at heart. They play as a unit, and that's probably going to keep them in the game against TSM, although TSM by far is the best team in the league right now.
So give us a little bit of rundown of the games we're going to see this weekend. So we have 2 matches, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. The Saturday one being for the third place finish and the Sunday one being the finals. Which of the 4 teams are in each match?
On Saturday for the third place is going to be Immortals and CLG, Counter Logic Gaming. CLG won the spring split, and they actually did extremely well in what was called the Mid-Season Invitational, which was kind of like a smaller version of Worlds played by the winners of all the various regions. They actually came second, which was a major feat for a North American team. Best international showing ever. They've not been able to get it together in the summer split at all. I have to think that has to do with some changes in the game made between the two in the meantime. Dragons have been changed. Also, in the last couple of weeks, the value of the first kill of a turret has been given gold, and that really impacts how CLG likes to play. They like to put pressure on an individual lane, do kind of like a lane swap, trade the first turrets, and then just kind of put pressure around the map. The new changes to the map makes that a lot more difficult, and they've had a really hard time adjusting.
And what do you expect to see from the final game on Sunday?
TSM is by far the best team in the league. TSM is probably one of the best North America teams ever right now. They only lost 1 match in the entire summer split, and that was actually to a bottom-ranked team, and that was really shocking. So they really are expected to win it all. I do think that Cloud9 is going to come out hard. Cloud9 plays as a team. They play as a unit. They're not going to be overrun. Most importantly, Impact in the top lane versus Hanser in the top lane. I actually believe Impact, the way he's playing, he's back to form like he was playing when he was in Korea. He is probably going to hold Cloud9 in the game just by the top line itself. I really do expect Cloud9 will take a game or 2. I do think TSM will still win the match. They're just that good. Bjergsen and Double Lift are just 2 of the best players right now. They're playing amazing. I think they will take it, but I do think it's going to be a close, exciting series. Cloud9 is going to be playing their hearts out because if they win, this is going to be their best chance to get a trip to Worlds, and that's what it's all about, is going to the World Championships.
So what are the other teams that are playing this weekend? What are they competing for as well, besides a chance to go to Worlds?
CLG, if TSM wins, they pretty much have their spot locked to World. If Cloud9 wins, then it's probably both of them are going to have to go through the gauntlet. It's probably going to be the same order. It doesn't really mean much. That does not mean it's going to be a bad game, however. I think it's going to be a very exciting barn burner. Both these teams have a lot to prove. That's the most exciting time to watch, is not necessarily when there's a lot on the line, but when personal pride and that sense of momentum going into your biggest matches. And Worlds is the biggest matches. Both these teams want to win. So I really do think that that's going to be a barn burner of a match. Very close, probably to 5 games, and it is going to be extremely exciting. A lot of kills, a lot of action all around the map. It's just going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I look forward to watching it as well. So for people who are in the Toronto area, this tournament is taking place at the Air Canada Centre. I think there are still some tickets available, but if not, you can always check out the action online on Twitch.
Yeah, I heard there's some tickets available for the Saturday game the other day. I'm actually more interested in the Saturday game than the Sunday game. Even though there's more riding on the Sunday game, I just think the matchup and everything. And like I said, Immortals have a ton to prove. They've never won a playoff series. And it's just like they really need to prove that they can do it on the big stage. CLG having a lot of trouble. They need to really recompose themselves and try to make a Worlds run, because after their performance at the Mid-Season Invitational, they want to match that in the World Championships.
All right, awesome, Glenn. Thanks for coming out and filling us in on what's going on the weekend and what you kind of expect to see. I think it's going to be an exciting tournament, and I'm going to be tuning in for sure.
Thank you very much. Nice to be in here.